All right, thank you for the opportunity for being here today. As Tim said, my name's Frank Quevedo. I'm the Executive Director of the South Fork Natural History Museum, better known as SOFO to a lot of you. We are a nonprofit organization specializing in providing unique experience and connections to the natural world to stimulate interest and basically create stewardship for the protection of our planet and the environment. As the director of the museum, my responsibilities are to create new initiatives, new projects, to stimulate as many people as possible to connect with nature. So what better way than to create a new initiative related to great white sharks on the South Shore of Long Island. So the title of our new project at the museum is titled SOFO, Shark Research and Education Program. And basically, it's a collaboration of researchers, fishermen, and environmentalists trying to create new data points to understand the movements and ecology of these great white sharks. So just to give you a little background on our nature center, sorry about that. Our facility is 6,400 square feet. We have a lot of interactive exhibits at the museum. If I walk away from this, will we be able to hear me? Do you have another speaker? Yes.
I'll walk away here.
Yes, sorry. Okay, great. All right, can everybody hear me? Yeah, hear me? Okay, great. All right, so this is the upper level of our facility. There's interactive exhibits depicting different natural habitats and ecosystems that are related to the South Fork of Long Island. This is still the upper level where we have harbor seal and different ecological information about the South Fork's natural history. The lower level has terrariums and aquariums that house different amphibians and reptiles. Our marine touch tank is a very popular exhibit where kids can interact with different marine invertebrates, holding sea crabs, crabs and sea stars and urchins and other marine invertebrates to create that interaction and that connection with the natural world. And again, the premise and the objective is to create stewardship for the protection of our environment. In the back, we have some new aquaria, the saltwater and freshwater fish that represent the different aquatic habitats here on Long Island. What really puts us on the map as an organization is the variety of programming that we do. This is an image of some young birders, aspiring young naturalists looking into a purple martin gourd. That's our purple martin steward, John Schimmel, showing them eggs and hatchlings that we have in the back of the field of the museum. We also do tiger salamander walks at night, also spotted salamander walks and blue spotted salamander walks. We take everybody out in the field at night and interact with the natural environment when these tiger salamanders are coming out of their burrows and going into their vernal ponds to breed. This is an endangered species, the eastern tiger salamander, in one of our locations in Bridgehampton. And then we also do snapping turtle walks and a variety of bird walks, but this is me and a young aspiring naturalist, Julian, holding a common snapping turtle in one of our coastal plain ponds in the Long Pond Greenbelt. So now our new venture as an organization is getting involved in shark conservation. And great white sharks are roaming our waters. They've been here for millions of years. They utilize the habitat along the coastlines of Long Island's South Shore as a nursery. We found that out a couple of years ago when we did some research with some other organizations, such as the Long Island Shark Collaboration and the O-Search Conservation Group. Some facts about white sharks, pretty typical information that you can find on the internet. Cargarion carcarius is the scientific name. They are found throughout the oceans, throughout the globe, throughout the world. They can get up to 20 feet in length. The females are larger than the males. They weigh up to 5,500 pounds. Their lifespan is usually around 40 to 50 years, but can live up to 70 years of age. Their reproduction, the males are reproductively mature between 10 and 12 years of age. The females take up to close to 20 years of age to be reproductively mature. Sharks are ovoviviparous, which means that the eggs are hatched in the womb of the female shark, and they develop in there and for 18 months, gestation period for 18 months, and then the female gives birth from anywhere to 2 to 12 pups every year and a half, almost every 2 years. So just to give you a little background on where we fit into the project, in 2015, a good friend of mine, Greg Metzger, who's the oceanography teacher at Southampton High School, created this informal group of scientists and friends and fishermen and named it the Long Island Shark Collaboration, and the South Fork Natural History was involved in that. And in 2015, Greg and the crew caught 50 sharks of various species throughout that season. And they satellite tagged the first young of the year juvenile great white shark in the North Atlantic as the 50th species that they caught at the end of the season. The satellite tag is a pop-off tag. It was donated by the Large Pelagic Research Center in Massachusetts. And it was the first time that we were able to get a data point from this particular shark. When it was captured and the tag was deployed on the shark, we didn't know what information we were going to get from it, but it prematurely was released from the shark's dorsal fin, and it was picked up off the coast of Maryland. So that was the first data point that we received, that the shark, which was caught off of Shinnecock Inlet in Southampton, is now was moving south down to the coastal areas of New Jersey and Maryland. So that was the first data reading that we got from this particular shark that we caught. With that information that we broadcasted out to scientists and other organizations, the group, the nonprofit organization OSearch got involved in 2016. They came out with their team and their vessel and their researchers and their fishermen and proceeded to tag an additional 9 juvenile great white sharks in the summer of 2016, just off of Montauk. And they were all young of the year or juvenile white sharks. And because of that amount of sharks caught in a short period of time, that residency data that we got from tagging those sharks established the waters around Montauk and the South Shore of Long Island as a nursery for this species. Again, data was extremely important in establishing that and documenting that this was a nursery right off the South Fork of Long Island. So proceeding with the following year, in 2017, OSearch decided to come back to facilitate the work that was created with by the Long Island Shark Collaboration, and went ahead and tagged another 11 juvenile great white sharks in the 3 weeks in August of 2017. So total sharks tagged when OSearch came in and facilitated our work were 20 white sharks, 3 dusky, 1 sandbar, 1 smooth dogfish, and 1 blue shark. So without OSearch's experience and knowledge and the ability to use their resources, we probably would just be still breaking the surface in understanding the movements of these great white sharks. But with this new research and an ability to tag these sharks with global shark tracking devices, we were able to follow their movements in real time through the OSearch tracking website. So anybody can go on their website and follow these sharks in real time. They're starting to ping now off the Carolinas, and in the last couple of years, we've noticed that they've turned around May, late April, May, and start working their way back up north to the waters off Long Island, which indicates that they're using it as a nursery still. Theoretically, we think that the sharks are in this region for about 20 years until they reach reproductive maturity. But that's still information that we still have to obtain. It's not been confirmed yet. It's just a theory. So the Shark Research and Education Program that now I'm taking the lead role in this initiative is the field work is being done by Greg Metzger, who's the founder of Long Island Shark Collaboration. He's our chief field coordinator. He's going to start his field work in May. Dr. Toby Curtis, SOFO Shark Research and Education shark biologist, will be analyzing all the data that Greg is going to be compiling in the field, and compiling it and basically getting all the other collaborators involved in analyzing tissue samples and DNA samples and trying to figure out the puzzle on these predatory fish so we could better understand them for sustainable purposes. So an update on sharks on the South Shore of Long Island. It's not much because it's still a lot of information that we don't know about. They are federally protected and prohibited. They're not endangered or threatened. They are actually thriving, and their numbers are increasing. Prohibited means that that you can't target the fish and you can't land the fish. If you don't know, if you're shark fishing and you're not sure what kind of shark you're reeling in, you're supposed to let it go because it could be a white shark or a dusky shark. These prohibited sharks are categorized because of their long nature of maturity and their slow growth, so they've been deemed prohibited. Also, there's a new law that was signed by Governor Mario Cuomo in 2015 that all sharks now have to be caught with a non-stainless steel circle hook, which basically is a better way of catching sharks. The old standard J hooks would actually harm the shark and probably hook their internal organs and hurt them over a period of time. But these circle hooks now, the hooks are kind of bent almost like in a circle and are pointed towards the shank of the hook. And theoretically, they're more safer and are now a law to catch all sharks with that particular type of hook. So 21 great white sharks have been tagged since 2015, all of them young of the year or 1-year-old fish. We know that because young of the year sharks have an umbilical scar on them, so we know that they were newly born in the area. The 1-year-old sharks that were caught, they didn't have the umbilical scar. They were just based on size and established them as 1-year-old fish. We have not caught 2-year-old sharks yet in this project. Strange, but hopefully we will someday. Residency data indicates the Charlottesville, Long Island is a nursery for white sharks. And again, they overwinter off the Carolinas with some returning north to Long Island in May. So there's a little image here of the O-Shirt shark tracker. These are just different pings from different sharks that were caught off Montauk. The pings are recorded and emit a signal to a satellite. Once the dorsal fin breaks the surface, it sends a ping off to a satellite and back down to the O-Shirt shark database, and then they can monitor and we can monitor real-time movements of these predator sharks. So the objectives of SOFO Shark Research and Education Program to expand the study beyond just juvenile white sharks, and we're going to target thresher sharks, sandbar sharks, dusky sharks, and see how they share the habitat in New York waters. We want to build on preliminary success of the previous years and expand our understanding of the movements and ecology of these coastal sharks by using cutting-edge techniques and technology, such as the pop-off tags that O-Search provided the last couple of years. So year one, which starts in May of this year, we want to catch 10 sharks of various species with these satellite archival tags. They're pop-up satellite tags. These tags will track depth and temperature and activity of these sharks for 28 days. It'll allow researchers to quantify vertical movements, habitat preferences, and recovery activity following stress of capture on rod and reel. These satellite tags are not cheap. My premise and focus is to obtain the grants necessary to continue and buy these tags so that we can continue our mission here on this research project. CATS cam tags, they are selected white. They're going to be selected to be put on white and thresher sharks. They'll be tagged with high ultra-resolution acoustic accelerometers tags, which means that we can monitor their movements and how they accelerate in chasing and foraging different prey. So those will last about 3 days, and once they pop off, they'll send off a little GPS ping for us to find the tracking device somewhere out in the ocean, wherever it may come off. So it's probably not going to go too far since it's only 3-day tag. So maybe it'll just be in. If we tag it in Montauk, it may pop off in Southampton or back in Montauk again. We don't know. So the CATS cam also provides a shark eye view of swimming and foraging behavior in their habitat. This leading-edge technology provides essential info on habitat use patterns and foraging behavior, enabling researchers to assess vulnerability to human fishing pressure. And again, the premise of this and the objective of this project is to use the collected data to enhance marine education in our community, enhance stewardship and conservation efforts in Long Island waters. And hopefully we can establish and get some exhibits and some real-time information to the community in our museum. So some acknowledgements, people who had roles in us getting involved. Our president of our board of directors, Andy Saban, at South Fork Natural History Museum. president of O-Search, Chris Fisher, Chris Paparo, Fish Guy Photos. He's a writer and documents a lot of the efforts that are taking place out in the field. Eleni Nikolopoulos, our soil-for-environmental educator, for helping me put this presentation together. Dr. Greg Skomel, who works close to Toby Curtis, who is our lead biologist. He's from the Massachusetts Division of Marine Fisheries Service. Jessica Quinlan, Kaylin O'Leary, who are SOFO shark biologists. Kayla will be returning this summer to facilitate the work that Greg Metzger will be doing out in the field. Large Pelagic Research Center, who donated the first satellite pop-up tag in 2015. National Marine Fisheries Service, New York State DEC, for allowing us to obtain the permits necessary to continue the work that we need to do. And of course, volunteers and private donors who are always helping with funding and also their time in creating the necessary work to continue moving forward on this. So just a couple things for you guys in case you want to be interested to volunteer or help out in any way or to learn more about what we're doing. You can visit us on our website at www.sofo.org, SOFO Shark Research and Education Program. Right now, the information on that link is basically the press release and the information about what we intend to do for this upcoming season. You can email Toby, myself, or Greg Metzger at sharks@sofo.org. You can call us at the museum. Or you can come to 3 programs that we're offering in April, May, and June. On Saturday, April 7th, Greg and Toby will be at the museum doing an introduction to shark research and education. On Saturday, May 12th, Greg Metzger will be conducting a program, Anyone Want to Catch a Shark? It's usually for younger children. It's a lot of fun, and it's an interacting program. And on Saturday, June 16th, the Science of Shark Research, Greg Metzger will elaborate a little bit more on the science behind the project. So again, I'm the administrator on this initiative, and you know, I'd like to be out in the field more with these guys, but hopefully you can join in on probably that April 7th program and ask questions about the science behind what we're doing here. So I think I went over 8 minutes, but anyway, there's a lot more information that could be elaborated on, but hopefully you'll join us on those programs. So thank you. Any questions at all? No?
Any questions?
Yeah.
You mentioned the pop-up device.
Yep, the pop-off satellite tags, yeah.
You able to use that over and over?
Yeah, some of those tags, we're able to, if we retrieve them, we're able to recalibrate them and recharge them and get them back to reproduction.
Okay.
Yep. We're good? Thank you.
All right.